This is our strings program. On Friday, our strings program is going to compete in a CMEA festival for orchestras. The last time that an orchestra from Taft High participated in a festival was about 1982. We've had a string program for several years now, but we weren't quite ready to be a part of a festival. And this group has put together 3 pieces for a festival on this Friday. Also, the program that I hope you received as you came in was designed and made by Katie. So everybody, a round of applause for Katie, thank you. It's very unusual, and usually the concert master is the first chair violin, but I have 2 concert masters. Brianna was the concert master for the Christmas concert, which means she tunes them and starts the program. Then Katie, first cello, is our concert master for this evening. Traditionally in orchestras, it is violin, but we have such a strong section. Honestly, our violas are wonderful, our violins, our cellos, our basses, everyone is very strong. Our first song of the evening is called Hyperdrive, and the idea is to travel faster than the speed of light. Now, I will be honest with you, I'm a band director. I really just Googled this, so I am not really sure how hyperdrive works. But the speed of the song in the 8th notes moves around, and we are attempting to play faster than the speed of light. So here is our first song, Hyperdrive. Our next piece was written by Richard and Robert Sherman, 2 brothers that had worked for Walt Disney for a while. They had written some music for him and turned it in, and he liked it. They were kind of freelance. But he brought this book to them called Mary Poppins that his girls were reading. And he said, my daughters love this book. I think we should make it into a movie. And so the brothers, Richard and Robert, brought in several pieces and several sketches for music they thought Walt Disney would like. And they played this piece, Feed the Birds, for him. And he said, you guys want a job? And he hired them on the spot as his on-location composers to work for Walt Disney. Then they went on to write Jungle Book and some other amazing, beautiful pieces of music. But this Feed the Birds was the piece that set them on that path. And so Walt Disney, to the end of his life, would ask Richard and Robert on Friday to come into his office, which was in downtown Disney at the time. And the brothers would come in and he'd say, what are you guys working on? What sketches have you got? Let's listen to some stuff. And then at the end of the meeting, he'd say, just play it. And usually Richard, would sit down at the piano and play Feed the Birds for Walt Disney. And Walt Disney would just kind of look off into the window, and it was kind of his moment every Friday with music. And this piece, Feed the Birds, in the movie is about a lady who's selling bird seed to feed the birds, but really it is helping her and her livelihood. And the idea of this song is that a small act of kindness can have a big impact. And so this beautiful song, Feed the Birds, is a Disney classic written by the brothers Richard and Robert Sherman. And as we are playing this, please consider small acts that have made a difference for you, or small acts that you have done that can make a difference for others. Here is our second piece, Feed the Birds. You can see why that would be a song he would want to hear every Friday. It's beautiful. Our last piece is a science report. Well, I did not realize our music was so science. Look at us, we're so sciencey, we're so smart. This last piece is Jupiter. It was part of a suite. Mr. Gustav Holst had a friend who was an astronomer, and he was studying the planets. Pluto had not been discovered yet, but one of the planets, Jupiter, is the piece we're going to play. Mars had an incredibly angry, aggressive theme, beautiful piece. So each of the planets, Mr. Holst wrote a theme for, and this one happens to be about Jupiter. This is our final piece of the night, and we get a couple more days to practice on stage, which will be great. But I think Friday is going to go very well for us at East High, and I'm very excited to see how well the strings program does on Friday. So here is our closing piece by Mr. Gustav Holst, Jupiter. I have learned to play a lot of instruments in my day, but playing stringed instruments is by far the most difficult instrument to play. These people make this look easy. And violins, violas, cellos, and bass will not lie for you. They won't. If your bow isn't moving like everybody else, it just doesn't move like everybody. You just gotta work for it. It is really hard. And this group did very well, and I'm very excited to take them to East High on Friday to show them off and represent Taft. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. Please enjoy the evening in our beautiful auditorium. Take some pictures with your wonderful musician, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you so much, and good night.